As Trickster continued his aimless wandering unexpectedly, much to his surprise, he met a little fox. "Well, my younger brother, here you are. You are traveling, aren't you?" "Yes, yes, here I am," answered the little fox. "The world is going to be a difficult place to live in, and I am trying to find some clean place in which to dwell. That is why I am looking for." "Oh, oh, my younger brother, what have you said is very true. I, too, was thinking of the very same thing. I have always wanted to have a companion, so let us live together." Trickster consented, and so they went on to look for a place in which to dwell. As they ran along, they encountered a jay. "Well, well, my younger brother, what are you doing?" asked Trickster. "Older brother, I am looking for a place to live in, because the world is soon going to be a difficult place in which to dwell." "We are looking for the very same thing. When I heard my younger brother speaking of this, I envied him very much, so let us live together, for we are also hunting for such a place." Thus spoke Trickster. Then they went on together, and soon they came across a knit. "Well, well, my younger brother, what are you doing?" they asked. "Older brothers, I am looking for a pleasant place to live in," the bird answered. "Younger brother, we are traveling about looking for the same thing. When I heard these others saying that they wanted to live together as companions, I liked it. Let us therefore live together," said Trickster. They were all agreed, and soon they came to a place where the river forked, and where there was a lovely piece of land with red oaks growing upon it. It was indeed a beautiful place. This, they agreed, was a delightful place to live in, and so they stopped there and built themselves a lodge. In the fall, when everything was ripe, they had, of course, all they wanted to eat. However, winter soon approached, and not long after it began, a deep snow fell. The situation of the four now became indeed very difficult. They had nothing to eat, and they were getting quite hungry. Then Trickster spoke. "Younger brothers, it is going to be very difficult. However, if we do the thing I am about to suggest, it will be good. So at least I think." "All right, if it is indeed something good that our older brother means, we certainly will do it, for otherwise some of us will starve to death. What is it that we should do that is good and by which we can get something to eat? Listen, this is a village yonder where they are enjoying great blessings. The chief has a son who is killing many animals. He is not married yet, but is thinking of it. Let us go over there. I will disguise myself as a woman and marry him. Thus we can live in peace until spring comes." "Good!" they ejaculated, all there willing and delighted to participate. Trickster now took an elk's liver and made a vulva from it. Then he took some elk's kidneys and made breasts from them. Finally he put on a woman's dress. In this dress his friends enclosed him very firmly. The dresses he was using were those that the woman who had taken him for a raccoon had given him. He now stood there transformed into a very pretty woman indeed. Then he let the fox have intercourse with him and make him pregnant, then the jaybird, and finally the knit. After that he proceeded toward the village. Now at the end of the village lived an old woman, and she immediately addressed him, saying, "My granddaughter, what is your purpose in traveling around like this? Certainly it is with some object in view that you are traveling." Then the old woman went outside and shouted, "Ho, ho, there is some one here who has come to court the chief's son." This, at least, is what the old woman seemed to be saying. Then the chief said to his daughters, "Ho, this clearly is what this woman wants, and is the reason for her coming. So, my daughters, go and bring your sister-in-law here." Then they went after her. She certainly was a very handsome woman. The chief's son liked her very much. Immediately they prepared dried corn for her, and they boiled slit-bear ribs. That was why Trickster was getting married, of course. When this food was ready, they put it in a dish, cooled it, and placed it in front of Trickster. He devoured it at once. There, she, Trickster, remained. Not long after Trickster became pregnant. The chief's son was very happy about the fact that he was to become a father. Not long after that, Trickster gave birth to a boy. Then again he became pregnant and gave birth to another boy. Finally, for the third time, he became pregnant and gave birth to a third boy. The last child cried as soon as it was born, and nothing could stop it. The crying became very serious, and so it was decided to send for an old woman who had the reputation for being able to pacify children. She came, but she likewise could not pacify him. Finally the little child cried out and sang, "If I only could play with a little piece of white cloud." They went in search of a shaman, for it was the chief's son who was asking for this, and, consequently, no matter what the cost, it had to be obtained. He had asked for a piece of white cloud, and a piece of white cloud accordingly they tried to obtain. But how could they obtain a piece of white cloud? All tried very hard, and finally they made it snow. Then, when the snow was quite deep, they gave him a piece of snow to play with, and he stopped crying. After a while he again cried out and sang, if I could only play with a piece of blue sky." Then they tried to obtain a piece of blue sky for him. Very hard they tried, but they were not able to obtain any. In the spring of the year, however, they gave him a piece of blue grass, and then he stopped crying.